So this is part 2 of the drawing. We just went through and laid down markers 1 through 50 just to give that kind of definition to the drawing. Now I'm going to go over the drawing and I'm going to use my straight edge, and you'll see me twist around the page quite a bit as I quickly go in and do some line work. So the key is to have a variety of line. Hard edges, soft edges, contour lines. For example, you're going to want to do your pillows nice and soft and your bedding nice and soft, and then maybe do some sharp lines for the nightstand, case good frames, etc. So remembering what you learned, crossing over the edge, hit, go, hit, finishing things off, and let's just do a quick little line drawing here. I'm going to start at this side of the page, so when I work over, that I'm not going over my work. I don't want these, the casing to, be too pronounced, so maybe I'll just, keep some of those nice lines and just go over a few. I'm very soft-handed, and then where I want to be more pronounced, then I really kind of am more deliberate. So just quickly going over some of the lines here. For the sake of time, I'm not going to be too detailed, but you can see that some students are very precise with their lines to really exquisite effects. So I demonstrate for you. I try to keep these like 20 minutes-ish, so I'm kind of a little quicker. You be you. For the plant, try not to go over and trace every line, but just pick out a few. I think this is supposed to be like one of those fiddle figs. My husband and I just got one last week. We adopted it from a design firm that was closing. Hopefully it'll live and it'll be beautiful like this. I'm being very loose and very carefree, and then I can go back in if I want to and fill that out a little more with some darker points. So you're not looking down into the pot here. Remember, this is two-dimensional, so you're just looking very flat and straight on. But having said that, we still want to give it some dimension, even though you're not looking down in perspective. That's coming soon, but not yet. I'm adding just a little bit of hatching just for some interest in my plant. This is the baseboard, and then this is the floor line. Here we have the bed and the nightstand. I'm losing my natural light right now, but that's okay. It keeps me quick, keeps me loose. A little cross hatching for interest on my lamp, just as you did when you worked on your vases. What you want to try to avoid is like a big dark spot someplace, so that if you do have dark points deep in the tree, a little on the lamp, some on the bed, that your eye travels around the page. It's not like you just have a darkness in one spot that your eye just looks at and then stops. We don't want that. We have our stack of books. We have my books stacked the other directions, laying flat. Maybe we have a little globe or spear by it. So in my drawing, you can see that, or in this drawing, you can see that we went in and did a little more hatching later. That's up to you if you like that, if you kind of want to show more of that artist hand, or if you just want to continue working with markers. And then if you go back in with your markers on top of the pen, it will melt it. And that's a different look. Kind of melt some of your hatching, blend some of your hatching. You can explore that. So play around with melting some of your pen. That's a good look. You can go in and back in, and as you see in the example, add some punch lines. So if you really want that to recess, get that a little darker, all of a sudden it starts going back. And then let's just carry on. I think I've probably said as much as I can say, and you see the final product, and I'll just continue on. I'm going to use some contour in here, some straight edge otherwise. You can use multiple pens. I'm just using one right now. I'm running out of a little bit of time, so I'm just going to go through and throw in some verticals really quickly. You can see the time saver that a straight edge is. Running out of light. I hope when this is all scanned and finished, it'll be a nice sketch. So this exercise is really about you practicing line again and shadow, because in the next lesson, I'm making you actually draw your own elevations of a hotel room to scale, 1/2 inch scale, and then you're going to be adding your own details to that drawing. So if I'm doing 20 minutes each, so if this is a 40-minute exercise for me, then maybe it's an hour and a half for you. So this, you know, these are the first time you're doing something. This is probably my many times of doing something like this. So yeah, so if I finish it in this 45 minutes, then it'll probably take you about an hour and a half. It's a sketching class, you know, not a drafting class. So if there's a little bit of mistakes, make it work. No big deal. They're getting the idea. That's a spooled, little spool foot. Soften the edges of the pillow, make that bed look really inviting. This is some pillows. There's maybe another row of pillows behind. Right, so Euro shams, standard shams. I just made a little boo-boo there and I like it. If you want to make that tufty more pronounced, really go in there and get the curve in. Otherwise, do a soft line across the top. But if you want to pronounce it, then add that arch. At the very end, you can throw in some punch lines for those areas that you want to come forward. Maybe like the chair. You want it to come off of the window, so you can add some punch to that. So go ahead and take a look at the finished product. Kind of check out all those details that I did. And you can do this or you don't have to do this. So you can see the one that's finished from last time that I spent a lot more time with, and I really went in a lot deeper with some of those colors, with some of that shadow. I'm sorry, shadow is not colored. So I say this over and over again, but I'm naturally very soft with my marks. So I typically always have to go back in with like a 30% to a 50% to build up. I never get it enough the first time through. So that's just me. Some of you will be bold and get it right the first time through. Other people like me have to like, okay, now I'm gonna go back in with 50 and get that going a bit. Should have done it the first time, but I didn't. All right, so the finished one, an example is posted. This is up to you, but sometimes I go in with like a 50, 60, and I put a very dark, bold line at the bottom of the page, and that kind of anchors the drawing. So if that's something that you want to do, this is what it looks like. Protect your drawing with the straight edge and go through with the flat side of your marker. You could put a nice even darker color on the bottom. And so sometimes that weights your drawing down. Now that I'm going darker with my marker, now I have to probably go back in with some punch line to finish that off. Maybe get some hatching underneath the bed, like I did here, here. When I'm all done, you can frame out your drawing. And call it a day. So I clearly have to go in and build up some of that depth again underneath the bed. And then punch out the floor line one more time. But that's the finishing, that'll be my finishing touches. Going through, building it up, my last bit. To see what's finished in the drawing that's posted. But hey, looking good. Minus the floor that needs to be punched out. I missed the shadows and the lamp, but we're doing it like lamps are off this time. If you wanted to, you can put some type of chandelier up here. You can trace it, have a nice chandelier above. I'm winging it now, but maybe you want to do a little beaded chandelier or something. Again, you can scale this and size it to your liking and just trace something. But if everything is very simple and kind of easy, you want whatever you trace to be very simple and easy too. You don't want to kind of overdo it. Thank you, and this will be posted, and this is your first activity. This is normally what we would do in class, so this is activity 7.1. Again, just getting acquainted to just adding those textures and those lines to your drawing. I had to do it. Couldn't stop myself. Have a great evening. I lost my sunshine, and I will see you soon in class.